I'm excited to be here with Tina Stewart from, is it the second biggest Coca-Cola bottling company or first?
I believe we're the second, but don't quote me on it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And the name of the bottling company is?
Coca-Cola Bottling Company United.
Well, all right then.
Yes.
There you go. All right. And what is your position at the company?
I'm the corporate manager of safety technologies. So my position, I handle anything having to do with Geotab on the back end of Geotab software, and making sure everything's running properly. And then also our event recorders, Lytics. I make sure everything runs properly with them too.
Well, let's talk about your fleet. How many units do you have?
We have approximately 3,800 DOT vehicles and 1,100 non-DOT vehicles.
Okay, that's a good size.
We have about 10,000 drivers total, 50 locations.
What areas do you, 50 locations?
50, yes.
Across the country?
Across the Southeast. So
the Southeast.
Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama.
So people are not getting their Coca-Cola but for you.
Yes.
Okay, right, I see. Okay. And so you're running, vans all the way up to tractors and everything in between?
Pickups, vans, 8 bays, 12 bays, yard dogs,
Wow, okay.
just about everything you can think of.
Sure. And so you're a Geotab client. You're, you got into Geotab or telematics at what year was that?
So 2017, our company decided to go to Geotab and do all ELD. We started transitioning.
With the ELD,
yes. FMCSA mandate, everything had to be on ELD's devices rather than paper logs within a certain time frame, and we wanted to get ahead of that, so we made sure that we started that transition early to get those people in there.
Okay, and that was the impetus, and then. So then it was a question of gaining more knowledge of the system and what it can do, and how did that evolution go for you and your company?
Well, it started prior to me being in there. There was a fleet mechanic who was in charge of making sure all of the devices worked, plus making sure all of the vehicles were running properly too.
Yeah.
So they decided that didn't work. They created a position, which is now my position. I started this position. I had some fleet background. I worked for a steel pipe company, and I ordered trucks for them, and I had a little bit of background in there, but I started with Coke 10 years ago.
Right. No, this is interesting though, because so your fleet size is probably 4,800 and each one of those trucks has a device.
Yes.
Okay, so and you are solely focused on the telematics, it's Lytics and Geotab.
Yes.
Aha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So they created my position just to have someone to make sure everything worked properly, all of the data was taken care of, was able to be pulled in case something were to happen, and we needed it for legal purposes or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the evolution of using this system? I mean, obviously it's ELD and it's FMCSA compliance, and then it became like, hey, I know where my drivers are, right?
Yes. Yes. So, in the past few years, they had the mandate where 100-mile air radius, you do not have to have the ELD devices in the vehicles, and we fall under that category. But 95% of our vehicles fall under the category where we do not need to use it.
Okay.
But we chose to anyway.
Sure.
Because the information that is captured with the Geotab, it protects us in any kind of event where, someone can call 2 years down the road and say, on this date, a Coke truck cut me off and it caused me an accident, and we're able to pull data now.
Yeah, certainly.
From previous dates if we have Geotab. If we did not have it, we would have no protection whatsoever. So we utilize the information that we have in Geotab for, protection of our drivers. Our drivers are number one.
Yeah.
Without them, we would not be able to operate. So in any shape, form, or fashion, as long as our drivers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, we're going to do everything we can to protect them. So we invest monthly with the subscriptions to have that.
Sure. Would that be sort of a regular occurrence, regular enough, where folks are saying like, hey, accusing you of something, accusing drivers of something.
Well, Coca-Cola is like
Yeah.
I would say in the top 10, if not number one, most recognized,
There you go.
company in the world.
That's a very good reason.
So it is a rolling dollar sign, is what we like to call it. They see the vehicle and they, analyze for the attack. They're,
got you. Yep.
There's people out there that, look for those kind of things and say, hey, I'm going to make me a quick dollar, and we have to do everything we can to protect our drivers and protect our name.
You've probably had some drivers that have a few years under their belts.
I do.
Yeah,
yes.
And they had to come into a world where it's with telematics. And how did that go?
Well, in the beginning, they were using the paper logs, the old trusty paper logs where they just color and code and go. And they did not like the idea of electronic logs in the beginning. They were, I'm not going to use this. But, here we are 9 years later, and if something happens, they say, hey, Tina, my geotab's not working. What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Can you help me? They know to call me, and I get it running, with no problem. It's just something simple that may have just happened, and they may have clicked something the wrong way.
Yeah.
And,
Did they push back on being tracked?
That they did. They don't like the idea, just like with our cameras.
Okay.
It's something new, and you get stuck in a routine, and you like the way that things are handled. And I've been doing my job, for 25 years. Why do I need a babysitter now?
Yeah.
But the first time they have to say, hey, I got pulled over on such and such street, and I know I wasn't speeding, but can you pull information for me so that I can, prove to them that I wasn't? And I can go into our database and pull the information and show them GPS record of, here you go, this is the speed they were going at the time that you said, and they were not going as fast as you claim they were.
Yep.
We can exonerate them.
Sure. Have you used the system in other ways, maybe for maintenance, like trouble codes, and or understanding drivers that are driving erratically, perhaps?
Well, we do. We analyze our top risky behaviors. People who have, harsh cornering, harsh braking, those kind of things. And we have a program where they get an extra training if it gets to the point where they have so many violations.
Yep.
We have an extra training right now. We used to use a PACE driving school.
Okay.
Now we use the Smith system.
Smith system, yep.
We have several trainers. I'm one of the trainers as well. So, we get out with the drivers and we go through a training school for them to, recollect. Everyone gets accustomed to comfortable driving, and, just like being a parent with the kids in the back seat, they get complacent and reach down for a drink and take their eyes off the road because I've driven it 1,000 times. And, sometimes they just need a step back and relook and remember what they're out there for.
Would you say that the telematics system has, you have to, safety training is an ongoing thing, so you've got to do that, but has your fleet gotten safer?
I feel like it has, just for them to know that someone's actually looking at it, and now we have to pay attention. I don't want to be on that list. We have a rodeo that we do, we've done for the last 3 years, where we take our top 20 drivers in the company, and they get to go to competitions at different facilities that we have and compete against other drivers. And they had prizes to where they could win $250 to $750, $1,000. They get one of the big belts or something like that, an incentive program for them. We are currently looking at, adding other incentives to where, not just our top 20 drivers, but any driver who hasn't had any kind of occurrences or anything like that, any kind of violations, we'd like to reward them as well with some kind of certificate, of achievement, just something. People like to be recognized. So, anything that we can do, and with Geotab, we're able to look in there and see who has violations, see who does not have violations. It has the information in there for us to be able to look at on a click of a button. It does all the work for us to where prior to Geotab, we would have to sit there
Oh,
for
gosh. Yeah.
months.
Yep.
It's like, okay, we're doing an annual review instead of a monthly review now. We can, access that information very quickly.
Great. And last question, have you used the system in a safety and security capacity in terms of like, vehicles going missing type thing, or is that?
Absolutely. Back in 2018, we had a vehicle in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We had one of our drivers who was parked at a store delivering product. And unfortunately, it happens sometimes where he left the keys in it.
Okay.
And someone came and took the vehicle. And
Wow.
we were able to locate that vehicle, and there was a high-speed chase.
A high-speed chase.
They were
Wow.
able to, safely recover the vehicle where no one was injured, and it was because of Geotab. If we had not had
Yeah.
Geotab, we would not know where that vehicle was until possibly something very
Sure.
traumatic could have happened. It could have been a lot worse, where when I say a high-speed chase, you get a large truck, a
Oh,
tractor
gosh.
trailer driving at high speeds, and you never
Well,
know what could happen.
Let's just leave it at this because the point is very well made. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognized brands in the world, and to have that safety and security of knowing like, hey, I'm going to do something that I'm going to try to get some money out of the company, that's really one of the key benefits of the telematics.
It is, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, you have people out there who are looking for that rolling dollar sign going down the road.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's going to happen, and because we have the technology that we have in our vehicles, we're able to protect our drivers, we're able to protect our brand, and our company stands for our employees because they're our number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great way to look at it. Well, Tina, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you. I appreciate
right.
it.